My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of Edge of 17. And it might not be my favorite, but it's still a top 3 Stevie Nicks song. Great beat, great lyrics, love it. Okay, I'm just kidding. I'm talking about the movie, of course, and this review will have spoilers, so there's your warning. But this movie is directed by Kelly Freeman Craig, whose newest movie, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, comes out today, but I refuse to see that movie, so I'm going to review her first movie instead. And when I first saw it, I really liked this movie, but it is much better, much smarter, and much more complex than I originally gave it credit for. It's kind of like if BoJack Horseman was a teenage girl. I know that sounds odd, but you're watching someone who's just on a self-destructive rampage and how she's messing up all the relationships in her life, and it couldn't help but remind me of BoJack. And you understand why she feels the way that she does, but it doesn't justify her shitty actions. And it's just a great coming of age story where you can tell that she's maturing and she's starting to understand the human condition. And I think it's really effective at that level. I love how we come to know her as she's always felt like nobody understood her except for her father. And then after he passes away, the only person she has left is her best friend, who starts dating her brother, and she feels like it's a complete betrayal of their friendship and of her trust. And now she feels like she has nobody, so she's just self-destructing, and that's pretty much the movie. But when you really look at this character, there's a lot of depth there for someone who's just wanted to be seen, for someone who has made excuses for everything. And I just think it's a very tight, very well written script. And I love how every character is given some sort of depth. And also, it kind of feels authentic, like it feels like actual high school students. So, job well done to Kelly Freeman Craig for that. She honestly balances the tone in this movie between drama and comedy so perfectly. She manages to make it smart and funny and charming, but also emotional. And I really like the musical score composed by Atli Overson. It repeats itself a lot, but I still like the way it's utilized. So, all of that is great, but the cast also elevates this movie. Haley Steinfeld is one of my favorite actresses working today. Her performance in Arcane as Vi is just phenomenal. Because it's a voice performance, it's not getting the credit she deserves, but it's like she's really incredible in it. And I think she's fantastic as Gwen Stacy in the Spider-Verse movie. I thought she was great in True Grit. I liked her in Pitch Perfect 2. I didn't really care for Bumblebee, but she was a bright spot in that movie. So honestly, I think she's one of the best up and coming actresses working nowadays. I really do. Because she makes this unlikable character so likable at the same time. Like, she is funny, she's charming, and she just walks that tightrope so well. You've also got Kira Sedgwick, who plays the mom, Mana, and I think she does a really great job. And I like how by the end, despite her and her daughter not having the best relationship, you understand just how similar they are. How after the father slash husband passed away, Nadine relied on Krista a lot more, while Mana relied on the brother character a lot more. So I thought that was very smart writing. You've got Blake Gennell, who I think brings a lot of depth to his character. He could have just came across as a douchebag brother, but there is more to him, and you sympathize more for him by the end. You also got Hayden Zizito, who I thought was really great as well. He just brings an appropriate level of awkwardness that was really needed, and his relationship with Nadine feels authentic. Woody Harrelson, I love him in so many movies, especially Zombieland, but this might be one of his best performances. I just love how likable and how funny he is, and he just always feels sincere, and I was really impressed by him. There's one line that the mom says to Nadine. Well, she says, everybody's just empty and miserable, and some people are just better at hiding it than others. And I like how Woody Harrelson is kind of the counterbalance to that statement. And how, in some ways, he kind of gives Nadine some much needed hope. So I thought there was some great writing there. And then we've got to Haley Lou Richardson, who I think gives a really great performance. But on that note, let's get to my negatives, and it's the character she plays, Krista. I thought she was a bad friend. I'm not saying Nadine reacted well at all. You understand why she felt betrayed, but you also understand Krista's point of view. But at the same time, considering they've been best friends forever, maybe she could have talked to her about it. Potentially. And then she gets Nadine to go to this party with her early on, and she just ditches her completely, despite knowing what she was going through. And then she just completely disappears for the second half of this movie. Like, vanishes almost. And it would have been nice if she was just like, you know what, maybe I could have done this a bit better. And she apologized to Nadine as well. Because Nadine, she grows, she matures, she apologizes. All great. But I also feel like some other characters weren't held accountable. The point is, everybody is flawed, and you're trying to understand where everybody's coming from. And the movie solely focuses on Nadine almost to a fault. So that's my biggest issue with this movie. But that aside, I think this is a very smart, a very well-written character study. I think it's very funny. I love the music. It has some real emotion. The performances are all fantastic, with Haley Steinfeld giving a performance that honestly should have been Oscar nominated. If you haven't seen this movie, then you just watched a spoiler review, but you should still watch it. So I'm going to go ahead and give Edge of 17 an 8 out of 10. A few years ago, I lended this movie to a friend, and she told me the disc was scratched and it kept skipping parts of the movie. So I was just like, last night, I know it's not going to work, but let's give it a try. So I put it in, and it actually worked perfect. So I was just on edge, waiting for the skip, waiting for it to break down, and it just never happened. So that was a pleasant surprise. But what did you think of Edge of 17? Is it your favorite Stevie Nicks song? Mine is actually Leather and Lace. Great song. But let me know about the movie and about your favorite Stevie Nicks song in the comments down below. Comment, subscribe, like, stay tuned for some more videos soon. And Gavin,